In this video, I'll be covering how to write melodies for beats in Ableton Live 10. Just for the sake of time, I've already pre-selected some sounds that I'm going to be using. The first being this distorted type of pluck key sound. Just a basic sine wave with a bunch of distortion on it. I'm going to highlight 4 bars and insert a MIDI clip, and also set the tempo to 140 BPM. And then start with the lower notes of this melody before working my way up to the top line. Actually, on second thought, I'll keep the BPM at 120 as it originally was. So this is the rhythm of the lower notes, so I can duplicate that all the way across. And it won't necessarily be the notes I'm playing, but it will be the rhythm of the notes. I think this this noise is a little bit loud. I'm going to turn it a little lower. Now the next thing is I'm going to highlight all the bass notes, hold the Option key, and then just drag this an entire octave up to E. And then I'm going to click this divide by 2 button to get the rhythm of the melody I want to be playing, but not necessarily the exact notes I want to be playing. So I'm going to change the notes to what I think would sound much better. F sharp is good. Let's bring this to E. Sounds good. I'll have, yeah, put that on C sharp as well. Let's put this on D sharp. Bring this a little higher to give it some variation. And have it end on E2. Duplicate this over. C sharp. And on the third, on the third bar, I do want to switch things up a little. I don't want it to get too repetitive. So I'll take the second note and I'll shift it all the way up to A. And that should be it. That sounds good. You do want to go for, well, hip-hop producers typically, or beat makers typically go for darker, gloomier sounding melodies. And that's exactly what we have here. Now the second step is I'm going to draw in another 4-bar MIDI clip. I'm going to insert another 4-bar MIDI clip. And this is going to be somewhat of a lead that's going to be playing in the background, or another harmonic melody to complement the main pluck or lead key sound that we have. Again, I'm going to first figure out the rhythm that I want this to be playing before actually drawing in the proper notes for this melody. Let's shift all of this up to F sharp. I'll bring this one down to E3. This is good. So the rhythm sits well, so I'm going to duplicate this all the way across before editing the notes. I'm going to keep the first and the third bar the same, and I'm going to change the second bar and the fourth bar, but the second and fourth will end up being the same as well. Shift this up to F sharp, bring these up to G sharp, and move this all the way to A. I guess I can just copy and paste the second bar into the fourth. It sounds like so. I'm going to enter in another MIDI track and insert another 4-bar MIDI clip and draw in some notes for another lead, so to speak. Actually, I can just duplicate this over again. Now, since this is our main sound, we'll have this playing in the intro section by itself, and we'll shift these over 4 bars. And you can think of this highlighted area as the drop, so to speak, where the 808 would come in and the drums and everything together. So I've found this eerie sounding lead to also have playing in the drop section. Any sound will do. It's just important that you have a decent amount of vibrato on it, so you know it sounds a little spookier and whatnot. One of the final steps for me is I'm going to select all 3 of these MIDI tracks. I'm going to freeze all 3 of them. And then I'm going to flatten the 3 of them as well. Bouncing them to audio gives you a little bit more versatility in how you can play with these melodies and notes and everything. So one thing you can do is you can copy the first note of this lead, the soft hip hop lead that we're going to have coming in, and paste it right here, right before you actually hear it. Double click on it and reverse it. So it kind of like leads into it. The sound doesn't really come out of nowhere. You'll hear the difference. Like that. And you can get creative with reversing notes. You can put these reverse notes anywhere within the actual melody itself and have it lead into the second, the third, or the fourth bar, or somewhere in between. You can get really creative with it and play with it.